really is just thirsting for resources. So basically, it's survival, and it's a sad story because the Solorians don't want to fight. They want to have peace. They want to have
Right.
unity, but it creates a problem. And that's what's great too is that with the meme tournament, each meme that joins it gets its own lore. So like Doug the Duck is creating his own lore that he'll have for his clan, and why Doug the Duck is going to help fight the aliens with Soloria as a resistance. So it's kind of like little planets for each meme too.
I have to admit, when you were describing it, I kind of felt like you were going for a like a metaphor for the meme space itself, because we, in a sense, are all alien cultures, all cultures colliding, all competing for resources in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it like that for sure. Maybe if we get a rival, we can change the alien to them, you know. But yeah, we're having fun with it, and we're being flexible as well. Each lore can change based on the needs of that community, what that community will like. So, we want to make sure that we are reasonable and that we can adapt to each meme that joins. So, yeah, we're that's a little bit of lore.
Right, definitely. Very cool. Let's go over to base Sharon. Chelsea, always great to have you on the show. The question I've been going around the room and asking is, like base Sharon, again, a Matt Fury creation. Um, Her backstory is quick, but really kind of a little bit thin. I don't know how much Matt Fury explored the character. What do you do with an existing? I mean, because she's Pepe's girlfriend, right? But like that doesn't explore her as a character a whole lot. So where does that leave you in terms of creating, an authentic brand for your audience that they can kind of believe in long term? I guess in some ways the vagueness of it also gives you of the original work gives you a lot of room to work in.
Hi, Justin. How are you?
Hey,
Hi. So thank you so much for calling me up. I am back now. I just got my appendix out on on Sunday. So I'm still
oh good
recovering from
lord, I hope
that.
you're okay.
Yeah,
Don't overexert yourself on the show.
yeah, I'm trying not to. So actually, Sharon was not a original Matt Fury character. We actually used Matt Fury's Brett and basically made a female version of it. So we actually have created a narrative around her that is Brett's girlfriend, but we also have an opportunity to create a little bit of a different backstory. So we're kind of working on that now, and trying to kind of create that backstory so that people know the narrative of who she is, what she does, who her friends are, because we do have those kind of coming as well. So in the next couple of weeks, you guys will see a little bit more of her narrative come out as we kind of go along.
Definitely. Well, that's cool. Again, you're kind of basing on something vaguely familiar, but creating your own thing out of it.
Exactly.
A shock. I think that you're in a totally different position. Of course, you're over there running a sniper bot. Has it been your like? What do you think the play between narrative and a long term community and long term of the success of a coin is? And is there some sort of reference going on with it's Shitobi Ninja that I'm maybe just not catching because apparently I got the base Sharon
Well,
thing wrong.
I mean, honestly, at Shinobi Ninja, obviously the allure is to be able to have the fastest sniper bot that has AI capability integrated into it to save the trader a lot of time and energy. And ultimately, if they can harness and educate themselves on how to use the tool correctly, trying to campaign it for the past few months like this. And essentially, everybody and anybody can be a ninja. I feel like anybody and everybody will be a ninja. And they don't necessarily need to use the bot. They can hold the token. They can be part of the community that helps educate people coming to the space. And I think, honestly, at the height of the bull run, when all the normies are coming in and they're looking for the next bomb and the next community like that, that's going to be, driven not just by hype, but driven by innovation and obviously AI being integrated into the utility. But honestly, just the memeability of it all. makes it kind of stand apart. And honestly, being on Solana now for over 8 months, we've kind of been tried and tested. You know, we have our battle scars, and we've got nowhere to go but up. And we have an extremely dedicated community, and the fundamentals, honestly, are that are set in place for any meme coin project, specifically Shinobi Ninja in this case. Like the fundamentals are what need to be looked at. And I don't care about the chart. You can zoom out. It's nice to have 8 months of chart history and all that, but for all the projects that are trying to do something to innovate, at the end of the day, the fundamentals are what really matter. And I spoke of this on your space before. It's the vision laid out by the dev, you know, what the value is in it, and then ultimately having a strong community with a powerful voice behind it is it's what's going to put Shinobi Ninja and projects like it over the top. And I think that, you know,
Sure.
we have a unique niche carved out here, and I truly believe, you know, once the liquidity starts pouring into the market here and everything, like it's starting to do already. I mean, it just comes down to how much work once is going to be put in by the community, the developer, the team, and everybody pushing together, marketing it correctly. And ultimately, when we have our bot fully functioning, marketing the success stories behind it is what's going to drive the project itself. So it's a
Sure.
bullish
But
time. I'm very
Mhm.
excited. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, I was just saying, what's helpful is you've got the ninja as a visual reference, and there we get into mimetic power in some ways, right? We can communicate gobs of information through a very small symbol. You've got the idea of swiftness, of striking silently or striking stealthily, and that playing into what people know about snipe bots and so forth. So that's all cool. I can see how you're expanding a brand around that. Going over to Token Motion Studio. Uh, I don't know. For an animator right now, man, it seems like a great time to be working because it's like this whole space has gone completely postmodern in terms of its references, which is to say everything is a reference to a reference to a reference, like, and everything's
Yeah,
out of context and so forth. So when I look at like you're doing Grogfather, well, obviously that's a Godfather reference there.
yeah.
What's this experience been like for you, and how do you differentiate Token Motion's own brand? From the brands that you're helping to create in
So
this media.
I really love the topic of this spaces today, Justin, because I think it's very relevant and it's something that everybody needs to talk about. When you set up a coin, you're running on the hype, on a certain narrative, and then how long is that narrative sustainable, and what can you do as a community or a project to make sure there's longevity within what you've created, rather than it being a quick, short-lived kind of project. And there's certain narratives out there. I was thinking about launching one myself called Not Another Matt Fury coin, to be honest, because there seems to be many of them popping up. But in terms of adaptability, in my opinion, is absolute key. And from an animation perspective, that's just one avenue to leverage adaptability. So Token Motion Studios is independent from any projects. Yes, I'm invested in certain ones myself. There's certain ones which I think are quite bullish, like Skull, for example, which again is a Matt Fury narrative. But then you need to look at what is the token going to do, and for me, there's really two arms in which they can leverage, and one of them is art, which falls into my category, where you use media, you use animations to create something different and divert away from the original thing that maybe caught people's attention in case that narrative dies, but you've created a separate narrative with art. Or you go into the utility, sort of meme utility direction, which obviously some of the speakers on here today are leveraging that. I think if you can do that, then you're putting yourself in a stronger position to increase the life cycle of your projects. Because like fashion, things change. Eventually, will people get bored of the Matt Fury narrative once? I mean, that's kind of formed from the whole Pepe saga. But what you do now to leverage and change the direction of your project and create that brand through art or through utility is what will then eventually separate you out from everybody else. So like everything, there'll be another meme next week. Something funny will happen in the news. There'll be a meme that's
Right.
created,
Right.
but where do you go from there? So it's either there's two avenues for me: art or utility.
Right. And in a sense, I think what Token Motion Studios is doing by helping to create this content is actually helping people extend their brands. It's one thing,
Yeah.
like we had Lambo, the nice little lamb with a bow, and of course, playing off of the When Lambo thing that's been online forever. It's been part of DGen life forever. But now we have like Gary Vee and Simon Sinek, hustle culture Lambo. We've got Lambo appearing as all these tech billionaires essentially. Is super empowered Lambo for builders, and that required media to tell that story in a lot of ways. So, by the way, Bitcoin on base. I've been trying to send you a speaker invite. I think you don't follow me, so I wasn't able to DM you, but I'm trying to let you know. Put in a speaker request, I will make you a speaker. Super Solana, also put in a speaker request. I'll get you back up. And Matos, I see your hand up. I've just been trying to get through everybody. I'll come back to you. Let me go over to Pochita because I haven't met them before. Pochita, tell us about how you built your narrative. You say it's the sister of Bonk. Tell us what it is based on and how you expanded that into kind of your own brand.
Yeah, so basically, Pochita was the next dog after Baltze, the previous dog that made the meme of Chimps, passed away, and its owner adopted this second one later on. It's similar to the case where Kabosu Mama, which is the owner of the original Doge, the Kabosu dog, where Dogecoin is based on, when it passed away last year, she adopted the next dog named Nero, and well, Nero had all of these attention and many coins. Similar thing happened with Pochita, where many coins were made with the same name,
Uh-huh.
but essentially. This one on Solana is the one that pretty much survived in this PvP, and and we really did went to the Dodge Day, and there was the owner of Cabosu and the owner of Nero and also the owner of Pochita petting Nero and so on. Many Shivas, a lot of cute dogs, really.
Uh-huh.
But the narrative for dog coins, I think it's mostly very strong right now because essentially the people in power of the U.S. Are now dog coiners, right? So I think that Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, will be all day on TV by people who despise Elon Musk and by people who are uh, are who want him to perform well with his effort with this Department of Government Efficiency, and many boomers or newcomers who have never before been exposed even to Bitcoin will know about Dogecoin and many other dog coins, and from then I think they will probably go towards things like Bonk and Nero, and then Pochito, which seems like a really high risk, high reward play that might turn out to be pretty good.
Right,
So yeah.
right. Well, we'll see. The phrase "government of Department of Government Efficiency" scares the hell out of me from an Orwellian standard. It's like the Department of Happiness. I mistrust this intensely, but we'll see what happens. Matos, is there something that you want to add? Matos, you guys had your hands up. Oh, maybe not. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
I'm
go
there. I'm
ahead,
there. I'm there.
Matos.
Sorry. Yeah, listening to a couple of the other projects, and find it's very interesting. The things they say, and like the token motion, how to hold the attention of your brand. That's where we from everybody hold come into play. We're trying to build a community where everybody holds and everybody wins. So we're
All
trying
right.
to create a community where we're having fun, we're creating things. All new members they come in, and then after a couple of days they say, "Oh man, this is the most fun like and most energy like." community I've been into, and people are putting their own specialties, creating in 3D or 2D animations. People are making artwork. We got even a singer in our midst who is creating nice songs about the Hold token, and creating a kind of hype around this. And like just what Super S said, and also Larry Pink, you need to jump on the mem hype. Mem hype, it's as fast as the light of speed. So you need to work something out within your brand and within your community, so you can jump on that mem hype if there's something going on. Last time I already told you in the other spaces where I joined, so one of our community members created a Bexifier where we can put any picture we want, and we can Bexify it. Bexy is our main man, our mascot, and we can turn any picture in a Bexy meme. So that's something that works for us, so that we can jump on that hype team, on that hype, the mem hypes, and at lightning speed, so that
Mhm.
we can create a nice flow of information. And it's super great to hear from Super S. They are at 140,000 views there with their memes. I love it, man. I love to see that everybody is working, and do not forget that everybody is working together, man. That
Right,
is
right.
something that will create a success for your brand if you can collect a group of people, like-minded people, that are all everybody wants to work together. I think you can make a success of your brand, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, the brand has to evolve. But how do you follow the feedback you're getting from the community folks? Part of why we went with the entrepreneur for, Lambo being the coin for entrepreneurs and builders, is partially it just made sense for where I'm coming from, and kind of my personal makeup, and also Big Lamb, and what he's into, and all this business culture, entrepreneur culture kind of stuff. But also because it represents such a big market, really a larger market than the meme coin market. So it had crossover potential, and feedback from our whale community and from our community at large, who are always extremely supportive. Um, to get an idea of how to extend that brand. Going over to Bitcoin on base, because I just got you guys up here. Obviously you've got the Bitcoin brand to build off of. Have you noticed your star rising? And I mean, everybody's star rises and falls with Bitcoin a little bit, but have you noticed that much of a correlation? And how do you go about synthesizing the feedback from your community in order to create that greater extended brand, so you're more than just a reference to Bitcoin, but you're kind of your own entity?
Yeah, great question. Thanks for having us, Justin. Um, we do not have much of a correlation, I don't think, with Bitcoin price movement. The community built this project, so the feedback we massive recovery center in Bel Air, California, called Evergreen Fund. We're building an on-chain wellness app. That's what it's called, on-chain wellness, in collaboration with our newest partner, Rare Protocol. This is also a partner of Sony. We announced that last week, and I'll post this in the nest while we were at the Tokenized conference. And that all stemmed from these partnerships where we're now getting invited to these speakerships to pitch our product, this new development of our application, to these angel investors for seed funding, and that is going very well. We met some incredible folks out there and are collaborating with them now to move that thing forward. We met a new project called Social AI that we'll be also integrating with in the development of our application, so that as we're onboarding, hundreds of thousands of people eventually onto our application, we have an AI that assists in that admissions process, and it's HIPAA regulated. They already work with
Right.
existing medical facilities. So massive opportunity there. And we just got approved to get our listing on Aerodrome. That just came through as I was chatting with you here. So that's an incredible improvement for our our reach in the space.
Sure.
And you guys probably know on base, Aerodrome has a massive percentage of liquidity happening right now. So yeah, everything that we do is coordinated with the community. They've been supportive financially as well, of course, since this is a community token. We don't have any existing treasury from the deployment. All of our marketing and operations stem from folks that contribute to what we're building. So
Right.
it's a great question. Everything should, I think, in these kind of projects be orchestrated in connection with community.
Right, definitely. Same question over to you, Chelsea at Base Sharon. I hope you're feeling okay. You're with us and everything. I'm sorry you're recovering right now from surgery. Um, but when you're looking to expand the life of Base Sharon, obviously the same thing to do is to play off of the lifeblood of the community that drives all of our projects. How do you go about getting that feedback from the community to help drive the direction of Base Sharon? You with us, Chelsea? All right. Let's go over to Kenji. Kenji, you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hey, what's going
Hey,
on,
man.
Justin?
So, how is it that you synthesize community feedback to help kind of expand and drive your narrative?
Um, you take a little bit of what they say and some other feedback you really don't take because everyone's going to put their opinion in how you should drive your meme token or your project. But at the end of the day, I have to make those final decisions because for Kenji, at least, Kenji's not a derivative of any meme. So it's an original meme. I'm the owner and it's my dog. And kind of going back to where you were talking about protecting your brand. So with us, and I know with Let's Fucking Go, it's pretty. I'm really glad they got attorneys and a legal team to help them in case of any situation with their particular brand. But with us, we've applied through United States Patent and Trademark Office for our watermark to make sure that I protect our all our intellectual property. And going back to what Super S said, it's really important for our particular project to have our own artists, and we do have our own artists on our own team to create assets and such. So it's a lot of things that go into running, and I know you know this, Justin. You having Lambo,
Right.
but every community member inside your community is going to say, "Hey, you should do it like this, or you should do it like that," and you have to just take the best of the opinions and just run with it. Because if you're going to listen to everybody, you're not going to make everybody happy. It's just that's just the way it is. You're just not, and it's just too much time for a dev to try to please everybody. So you got to just take the majority opinion and just run with it because either you're in it or you're not. It's really simple, man. For
Right,
me, at least.
absolutely. Now I'm going to go over to Army CTO because I think you guys haven't gotten a chance to speak yet. Army CTO, how are you?
Hey guys, hey Lambo,
Hey there.
what's up everybody?
Uh,
Yeah,
y-
I was just up here. Then I forgot I had a scheduled call with
uh,
um yeah about getting added to some sexes and dexes and all that.
Sweet. All right.
What's the
Fantastic.
what's the question?
So what we're talking about is how you go about integrating community feedback, because on the one hand, of course, your community is the lifeblood of your project. You've got to involve the community. At the same time, as Kenji just pointed out, you're never going to please everybody. But in terms of expanding and working off of, your original brand that you launched with, how do you establish that brand, and how do you continue to extend it, while including your community?
Yeah, I think I heard a little bits and pieces of what Kenji was just speaking about, but yeah, it's always important to take community feedback because if you can't make your community happy, then what do you have? So. Um, growing your community is important. So taking feedback from your community is just as important. But like Kenji said, and you said, you're not going to be able to implement every suggestion or every opinion that's suggested for growth or expansion per se. So you only could just take the suggestions and see, what good ones you can try out. And it might be some okay suggestions that you can make and like work further on, or you can take calls with the community members that's and try to clarify what is the mission they trying to complete. And taking calls with community members and just being clear about the direction of the project. I think it's just as important as well, because sometimes when you have community members that's just suggesting this, suggesting that, they're trying to be helpful, thinking that the original team is not doing anything in the background when, of course, we know running projects, that's uh, you're doing stuff 24/7 trying to progress the project. You just don't have time to announce every little thing because something may go through. You may be working on something that may not go through. So it's not, worth announcing to the whole community per se.
Sure, sure. By the way, I know Crypto for Matos. I know that Crypto Cartel wants to come up and speak. I sent him a speaking invite. Please have him put in a request, though, because speaking invites don't always seem to be seen by people. Likewise for Super Solana, because I'll bring you guys back up here. I think you came back up and then immediately got bumped again. Spaces is always kind of weird to deal with, so we just gotta try and not sweat it as much as possible. Let's go over to Fefe. We've got Micah, otherwise known as Saga. Same question. How do you involve your community in a meaningful way, and have they meaningfully contributed toward the expansion of your narrative, or have they been happy just to play more as viewers? Because I can imagine that different communities have different personalities and attitudes towards that.
Yeah, we just kind of like he said, we just go with like the majority, kind of like what everyone wants to do. And then we also have like a smaller team who, like kind of runs things like the Telegram and all that kind of stuff, the Twitter and whatnot. So that team, we we kind of like take the consensus from the majority and we just run with that, and like he was saying, like you can't please everyone all the times because it might just be something as small as like a certain meme you use, right? Like one time we used this meme and a community member didn't like it, because it seemed like a little more like provocative, and so we took it down, right? And that's called being a CTO. Is like, hey, he didn't like it. We were like, okay, you know what? That's reasonable. We'll take it down. So that's kind of how we actually just run it like a CTO. So yeah.
It's good to involve people. Sorry, I was muted for a second there. Definitely, it is good to involve people as much as possible. I'm going to go over to Cartel Boss from Matos, or from Hold, I guess. You had some insights you wanted to share around this.
Yeah, hope everyone's doing well today. You know,
Thank you.
here's the thing with community. A lot of people are joining crypto who have never been in crypto before. And obviously, part of investing is being integrated into a project's community. Now, people don't understand sometimes what that means. And it is more important to educate the community and motivate them to work, because in life, if you don't work, you don't get. Effort produces results, period. And a lot of times people don't understand that, or haven't been involved in environments or groups where they have to engage at a higher level like you do in crypto. However, when you start to teach people that their bag is their company and that they need to treat it like their company. 24/7, work it and have conviction and a positive mindset to continue driving and moving those things forward. Even when business isn't doing well, you've got to put in the effort. You don't walk away from your brick and mortar or your online business. You don't do it with your bag. It's all about education. It's about changing the mindset of people. And then it's about getting people to step outside of their comfort zone so that they grow. And what do I mean by that? Look, we have lots of people in the hold community that have never gotten up and spoke in front of people before in a public speaking environment. I tried to just explain, listen, you can't screw it up. When you're talking about the project, you're talking to new people. They don't know if you screwed it up. We can always go back and correct it if they come into the community to say, hey, this is what he said, but this is what he meant. But practice makes perfect. People step outside their comfort zones and they start to grow. And I'm telling you, when you contribute to people in an others focused mindset and help people grow personally and professionally, you start to create a connection that cannot be broken. That is how you keep a community core working, growing, and helping each other, being others focused to make sure that people succeed together and not alone. Nobody left behind.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, there are absolutely some gems in there. The fact that you do have to put the work in, that's absolutely true. Launching a meme coin is a lot like launching any other small business. You've got to expect that it's going to dominate a lot of your life for at least several years, at least until you get to the point where you level cap out and you're $1 billion coin. Even then, though, honestly, I'm not sure it ever stops. Like parenting, I'm not sure it ever stops being hard work. Going over to Suncat, you have your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, Justin, I've been jumping on these spaces for about 3 weeks, and I just really, seeing the narrative or the questions that you're asking, and kind of getting your listeners to think about, what is the role of meme coin in, this new utility mindset, and I have a question for you because it's like if you look back on the meme coins that have hit in the $1 billion market cap, the whiffs,
Right.
the Pepe's, well, Pepe may be a little bit different, but the Doge, runs, they really were purely community tokens. And so it's very interesting to me, interacting with so many memes over the last 2 or 3 months. It's like, how do we move beyond just community? Like, how do we make our use case appealing and, look good for potential investors? I'm just curious, like, are the days of just, hey, we have a strong community and all we are is a picture of a freaking dog. It's like, are those days over? Um,
Right. I kind of think yes, except that there are exceptions to everything. For instance, Doge is probably a pretty well run project at this point, of course. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Doge or Shiba, but at the same time, I'm not sure that same kind of success would happen now. They were very of their time, and they got to be blue chip meme coins during a specific window where they really kind of hit with something very specific that was speaking to the way people were feeling right now. What I've talked a lot about mimetic utility, but part of why I feel that way, well, there are two reasons. One is I would like to prove that great things can come from the meme space because I believe that they can. I don't think that the founders in the meme space are any less intelligent than the founders in other and more serious parts of crypto. And I want to see amazing things come out of this space. But it's also because, well, same thing with Lambo. Like we could continue to just have Lambo be a happy, friendly lamb who's wondering when he's going to get a Lambo. And, that's nice and everything. But it gives, I think that I love the Bitcoin white paper. I go back to it a lot when I think philosophically about crypto. And it has a lot to say about positive participation from the community. And that's what we need. So to me, mimetic utility is partially so that you're creating an opportunity for your own audience to participate positively in trying to achieve something. I think it's because meme coins have been around long enough at this point that it has to be more than a funny picture at this point. It has to be more than a cute dog. You need to tell people what it is you believe in. And it's hard to, I've learned from my writing background that, it's very hard to get people on board, particularly I did script writing, right? It's very hard to get people on board with a protagonist that is inactive. So when you launch a meme coin, Lambo is the protagonist. They're the one it's the John Wick of his own meme story. And John Wick would not be a successful movie if Keanu Reeves just kind of sat around and played video games, right? Like we follow him because he's active. We follow him because he's exciting. Well, maybe for Keanu Reeves, I would probably watch a video of him playing video games. That's because he's pretty well loved at this point, which is pretty funny. But no, it wouldn't be a very successful. Would be a successful movie if the protagonists weren't active. So that's why I believe strongly in mimetic utility. Does that like kind of answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, yeah, I mean, I guess my one uh, poke of the argument of watching Keanu Reeves play video games is, you know, yeah, but yeah, watching it solo would be goofy, but having a community that engages and pushes a project forward, because that's what
Right.
it's been so interesting for me taking over this project. It's like, dude, I'm a traditional investor. I know nothing about, sex listings. I don't know anything prior to the event happening of me taking over the project. And I've got these guys, coming up with artwork on their own, totally free. And like just that's so inspiring that like people are going to take time out of their lives to, create their own narrative. And as a CTO, that CTO to CTO, that they're really running with that. And I think the genius of the community itself and just the creativity and just the dreaming that comes from giving people the power just to work and just to run with something has been really cool. And I don't think it's through a game that you earn tokens or any cross collaboration with a utility token. I think it's really solely through the heart of my community, and it's I just don't ever want to diminish that or try to put something up against it as more important, because I really think it's the lifeblood of our project for sure.
Right, absolutely. So how important is authenticity to a community? Let's go around and run through this one a little bit. Then we're going to wrap it up. If anybody's in the audience who wants to speak, please put in a speaker request because I feel like the speaker invites I'm sending out aren't mattering. Hey, yeah, go ahead, Cartel Boss.
I community is something that, man, I just have a huge passion for it when talking about it in this space because I truly believe you can have the best contract, you can have the best utility, you can have the best memes, you can have the best narrative. But unless you have millions of dollars sitting at your capacity to be able to go out and market behind a computer screen, community is your sales team. They are your marketers. They're the ones that go out and find the investor, and they're also the ones that keep the investor engaged and there so that they hold and don't sell and go somewhere else. So without
Right.
community, you got nothing. You have nothing unless you have some big budget to work with. And I think that when you look at history, like you were saying, some of the ways that other projects excelled in the past, um, you know, that was the start of it, right? Now, don't get me wrong. When you look at something like Shib, there's a storyline there beyond the community of what put them on the map through a mistake in a social media post. But nonetheless, that post put gasoline in the engine. The community lit the gasoline on fire to move forward. So we can never underestimate what the community's part in any project's success is.
Sure. Yeah, I guess yeah, that's true. It certainly is important. Um, Ikig AI, am I saying that right? I think it's the first time you guys are on air with us. You know, how important is sincerity with the community when you're looking to create your brand? You guys have an AI brand. I don't know what other brand extensions you're building around it, but obviously AI is part of the mix for you. You know, how important is it to have a sincere brand that people can vibe with, or does it have to be about splash and excitement?
I think it's got to be a mix. Personally, like obviously, what we'll do is the whole premise of us is that we're very like good vibes, positive energy um type of thing. We're like, well, ikigai is a Japanese concept that just means purpose. So in that sense, we're basically helping the community find their purpose in a very like zen and like all about being.
You kind of muted again. You with us?
Oh, can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now. You just kind of blipped out for a second.
All right, that's all right. And then so I think that we're just very like positive, good vibes, and I think that helps with community building. But I think at the same time, you need that like splash of excitement, like obviously these new AI features or like an NFT collection, just something that gets your community hyped, something that builds like that sort of like FOMO for your project. Because at the end of the day, you are trying to bring in new members, you're trying to bring in new liquidity into your token. So when you're searching for those new people, you need to have something there that's just going to instantly spark their interest. Sincerity keeps holders, I think, and having those new features will always bring in the new liquidity, which will then turn into holders through your sincerity, I believe.
Right. You know, LFGO, kind of the same question, although I'm going to phrase it a different way. Is everyone looking to be a conviction play? You know, like because people talk about conviction plays, like maybe they have one or two of them, you know, but it seems like any community you become invested in to the part of almost becoming part of the team is a conviction play for you on some way in some way, level or another. It seems like most meme tokens, if it weren't for people who have convictions around the token, the token would be in a whole different place. We really rely on our die hard holders. So how much of that is that mix between flash and relevance and what's immediately popular versus a long-term consistent brand that people can believe in?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you the
Let's see
easy
where to
one.
start.
I wanted to give you something
Okay, go
simple.
ahead.
No, I'm just kidding. I just did. Go, man.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, conviction play. Obviously, for somebody to hold their bags for a long amount of time, they need to be convinced. They need to know what they're investing in. They need to have belief, right? And they need to see consistent activity from the people involved within the project. Obviously, LFGO is a community takeover, but we built a team from within the community. And fortunately for us, we managed to build a very strong team that have their own businesses, have successful careers, have money to throw at the project, and have done. Most meme coins, that's what they lack. They don't have a treasury, they don't have funding. All they have is just supply and nothing else. And that can only get you so far. So the conviction comes in two parts. That the project needs to have direction. The project needs to show that it has what it takes to become a project that would reach those highs of being like a Brett or a Dodge or a Shiba or Mumu the Bull, Ponky, even in a few 100 million market caps, right? Um, and that it has people behind it that are willing to give 100% and turn up every single day. So that's the conviction part for me. That's where it comes from. It otherwise your conviction is only there until the project has legs, right? So if it doesn't have legs, then you're going to be out as soon as you made a return or you've made a significant loss, and that's the end of it for you.
Right, right. You know, I'm going to go to Azumi. Azumi Chan, because you guys came up, welcome to the show. How much is authenticity a competitive advantage? And we know, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a perfect example. Well, there are those flash coins that like sprout up essentially around an event. I know that there was that one Trump coin that was not associated with the Trump family, but pretended to be. And then it went up to, oh, I forget. It was like 50 million and then rugged the same night. It would have like a 12-hour lifespan. Or you have people jumping on stuff like Peanut or whatever. How much is it an advantage to have a sincerity brand kind of underneath that? And how much should we be focusing on being Flash? Because to the outside world, I think it all seems like Flash. What do you think, Azumi?
Yeah, well, let me start with like there's been a lot of um, talk about this, and I got into memes around probably like a year ago. And if I had known that meme coins had these kind of spaces and CTO leads and devs that actually jump into spaces to speak about the project, I probably would have never spent any time in the trenches, in the actual trenches, trying to find the next one, the next 20K market cap, so it goes to 200, and then people get out, and you pray that you time somewhat the top and stuff like that. I like if I had known these spaces, like I would have just looked into the people and the projects that are actually speaking on them, because it actually shows that at least they are here trying to build something respectable and somewhat long term. Of course, there's always the risk of getting rugged on meme coins, but as much as there's a risk, if the CTO lead is active on spaces, if the rates are going on, if the token doesn't pump too much, because then you think, oh, maybe there's a cabal here, or maybe there's people with money. Am I safe investing in here, or is it gonna rug? It already did 5x, maybe it won't do much, etc. And a lot of people are like, oh no, my first rule is to never buy a green candle. I'll wait for the red ones. So it's so hard, man. I honestly cannot say there's a recipe for finding the projects and the tokens that are legit and that are building, long term, and they will not rug. But I can definitely say that just look at the projects, and we haven't been this long. We have been for probably like 2 months. We're gonna
Right.
get, yeah. But look at those that have been building for months and that have been attending spaces for months. And hopefully when retail and normies arrive, they get lured into your kind of spaces instead of the other ones that are botted and they are just looking for exit liquidity. And these spaces are gonna be more frequent as more people come into the space. So hopefully attention
Yeah.
comes to the ones that are actually building.
Yeah, I definitely think the Twitter Spaces like this and like some of the other shows. Like I have my big shows at noon tomorrow, folks. When alt season, so come join us for that. That's noon ET, and of course we'll be doing LFGO's show noon EFT or Eastern time, not EFT. Sorry, Eastern
Sorry,
time.
sorry, sorry,
Uh,
Justin.
yeah.
Um, I won't be able to do the show this Friday, so we're going to postpone
Oh.
for because
Okay.
I'm going to be busy traveling to Bangkok for all the DEF CON events, and it's going to be very difficult for me to be
Right on. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that
spaces.
alpha's being dropped right now.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
yeah
yeah, perfect. All right, we'll travel.
yeah. Unfortunately, I forgot to tell you.
Well, usually at noon on Friday, LFGO is doing their show. So I think that spaces like this are changing the whole meme coin world in a lot of ways because you've got more founders talking to each other like founders and talking about what we can do jointly and what we could do individually. I've said many times, this is kind of my own opinion. I guess I'm a founder of Lambo as well, though, that we have a small window of opportunity, folks. How long before we begin to be regulated on on a deeper kind of level? How long before the people who hold and control all the money decide that they want a part of what we do too? For in the meantime, we have the opportunity to build something. We could really try and accomplish something, and I see meme coins already setting out to try and do that. Like And in a way, I think our goals tend to be more realistic and nearer term than the goals of these larger, more serious projects that do these big ICOs in the beginning. I'm going to go into my speed round because we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. By the way, folks, it has been rugging people this entire show. So if you got rugged like 6 times, like Army CTO, I know that they've gotten on and off and on and off. I would make you a speaker and then immediately you'd disappear again. So please don't take it personally. Anybody out there, it's been like everybody that's been happening to. Ninja had Ashok had the same problem. A lot of people were having the same problem. So come back again. We'll try and talk about it. But let's go ahead and do a speed round. Yes, Lurie, I'm not going to forget you. Lurie, what's up?
No, I'm just enjoying the conversation. So I
Oh,
got a little trigger finger happy there. Sorry, man.
no, you had your hand up too. All right, I'll
Yeah,
start with you for the speed round. Then you'll be the one who has no time to think about it.
let's
Uh,
go.
in 3 words, what is the thing or things that communities need to be most?
In 3 words,
Yep, you can
authentic,
use commas if you want separate things.
authentic, relentless, and persistent as fuck. That's more than three
All right.
words, but yeah.
Well, that last one gets to be a hyphenated word. Yes. We're bending the rules a little bit here, but it is the meme space. Bitcoin on base, 3 words.
Doxed, loyal, and authentic.
Oh, gotta have a lot of authenticity here. Saga, what about for Fefe? What are the 3 words summarizing what does community need to be most?
3 words. Love, uh, I guess trust and consistency.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Suncat, 3 words.
Committed. Yeah, consistent. And yeah, committed. Just committed.
Double committed. You have to be doubly
Yeah,
committed.
double
No,
committed.
that's good though. All right, I guess I should say up to 3 words. But Azumi Chan, up to 3 words. What does a meme community need to be most?
Transparent, um, purpose, and hardcore.
All right, very good. Cartel boss.
Creative, committed, and consistent.
Right on. LFGO.
Present, unified, and oh man, I lost it. I had all three: present, unified, and I don't know. I forgot now.
All
Being
right.
basically
It
just
really it's up to three.
relentless.
Relentless is good. What about Tokamotion
Yeah.
Studios? What do you think, man?
I'd say innovative, creative, and unified.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, honestly, the only thing I would add is that it really helps to have. I mean, you could see this as an extension of creative, but I think it helps to have vision as well. I think that that's kind of a big deal too. Of course, you need to be consistent. You need to be there every day, and you have to be creative in terms of you have to be turning out genuinely good content, get genuinely good memes. Um, so funny could really stand to be in there too. But I think it really helps to have a vision that's unique, and that's a lot of what we're getting at. We talk about brands today, but hey, it was a good discussion. Thank you everyone for joining. Please go ahead and follow Bitcoin and Base. Follow Fefe, follow Lurie Pink, follow Suncat, follow my Justin Roberti account that's just sadly sitting there in the audience. The only one, Lambo's the only one that I don't host for my own account for. Follow Azumi Chan and Cartel Boss and Hold LFGO, Token Motion Studios, Pachita, Matos, Ikig AI. We got Chiba. Sorry I never got you up here today, guys. Base Sharon, Fefe. So many good people in the audience, so many good projects in the audience. We'll be coming at you again next Wednesday at 10 a.m. ET to talk about more things that matter to builders, essentially. Past couple of topics, Big Lamb has given me some ideas around what the topic is going to be. So thanks to him. It keeps me from talking about mimetic utility all the time, just because that's a pet issue of mine. But I think that this was a great discussion today. I feel happy with the show when I know that I have kind of learned something from it. And this is a great way for us to get kind of a sense of ourselves and get a sense of what our space is like. So we love you all, especially today. If you get the chance, if your devices are stressing you out, try and disconnect from them a little bit. Take a few minutes outside, not looking at your phone, preferably if you can do it. Memes are cool and technology is changing the world and all. And of course, money is important, but it isn't everything in the world. So try to keep perspective around that. And we will see you guys again next week. Thank you to all the projects for coming and joining us. Sorry that the spaces was acting buggy, but it's been a great show. We'll talk to you soon. All right, everyone. Peace. Bye, guys.
Thanks.